Finally back with a new guide series, and this time we are looking at the controller agent VIPER. Now, like Breach, VIPER helps your team push through hard choke points by blocking visions from key angles at specific sites. While that sounds like a support to you, make no mistake, you can still frag the fuck out with VIPER. Now, if that sounds like your type of playstyle, I think it's time to look at VIPER and pick her up as your main agent. Now, to remind you, make sure if you are the 90% of people who watch these videos, who comes to my channel, look for guides for different agents, make sure that you go scroll down below and click that red sub button. Just click it. It helps me a lot, so make sure to save yourself the hassle and make sure to show your support and love. I appreciate what you guys do. I appreciate the time you guys spent watching these guides and videos. Thank you. Let's get started. First tip we're going to look at is how to set up your wall if you choose to push through a site. The idea is to stand right on top of this box, right off spawn, look up into the sky, and with your minimap, line up the end of your wall so that it touches that corner across from the elbow. Now what this does when you put up the wall is that it blocks vision from A ramp, from the left corner of the choke point at A long, and CT entrance. The only thing that you have to worry about now is the top left rafters and of course heaven and a site itself. Now this next wall trick I did not come up with myself, but for the sake of the next trick making sense, I had to show it to you guys. So to set it up, making sure the corner of that building lines up with that diagonal white line, and then searching for that third line right below, you simply line it up until the minimap shows that you can throw a wall at heaven so that it allows it to go through heaven and block the site with a wall from heaven. Now, if you just decided that you want to set up your wall to block heaven and A ramp, you are now exposed to A long. So this is a way for you to block that angle when pushing through A long. Here's how you set up that throw. First at spawn, making sure you hug this corner right before the wall opens. Now looking at this corner of this gray building where I'm shooting, that is where you're going to place your crosshair. Now the important thing when you are throwing this smoke is that when you throw it, making sure you jump and immediately tossing that smoke. That's going to allow the smoke to avoid any obstacle and actually go where it has to be. Now let's say you want to use your wall to block vision from A ramp, A long, and from the left corner of the rafters. Now you can use your smoke so that you can block vision from heaven itself. Here's how you set it up, starting from where you spawn on the A site. Jumping up to these rocks, making sure that when you jump the last time, only taking one step on top of the rocks. Now using your crosshair, aiming it at the top of that corner where the lights are on top of heaven, and making sure that when you jump, toss the smoke immediately. Do not wait, so that this can land perfectly right in the middle, and now you have full vision control of heaven, blocking the sight lines to sight. Now this is my preferred push for when I want to go through a site. I have a smoke at heaven and the walls to block CT, left rafters, and the A ramp. As you can see, no one can peek it from those sites, from CT, heaven. The only open spots that you should be looking out for when pushing through is the actual A site and that top left rafters. Now let's move on to how to smoke mid side of split, starting with the vents. This is essentially going to block entrance to the vents and also that right side of the ramp. Now the setup is easy, jumping on top of this box, hugging the left wall, and putting your reticle right on the right side of the A on that billboard and jumping up. Making sure again that when you jump up, immediately afterwards, toss that smoke. Where the smoke lands depends on how well you throw it, so make sure you practice it well and know how the throw feels. Now, you can also use the smoke to block the vision from the ramps at the mailroom so that anyone on your team swinging on mid can just simply focus on vents or the right corner of that ramp. Now here's how you set it up, standing in front of this column outside sewers and putting your reticle just below that K. When you jump, making sure that you toss it on your way down and not on your way up. Tossing it on your way up will cause you to overthrow and put that smoke right in the middle of the ramp where you don't want it. Now the next smoke involves throwing a smoke that goes into B site, blocking vision from the rafters and from the heaven window. This type of smoke helps pushes from B site where walls are placed on the right side of the garage exit and blocks all of the right side vision from B. Now to set it up, you simply have to stand on the box right where your spawn is, right across from garage, and now with your crosshair you have to aim at the satellite dish on that horizontal line. The toss itself involves you jumping up and forward at the same time and then tossing it immediately while you perform your jumping forward. So press W and space at the same time and then toss quickly, allowing the smoke to clear all obstacles so that it lands perfectly on top of the rafters. Now the next smoke trick also happens in this box on the left corner of spawn. Essentially, when you're looking here, what you want to do is place your crosshair at this third triangle, aiming at the tip of it, and now when you toss it, again, jump and immediately release as you jump up. That it gives it velocity and clearance for any obstacle, and now that smoke is going to land where you want it to be, blocking vision right across from B tunnels, allowing you to push left and right. Now, for your B side wall setup, all you have to do is stand in this left corner where the barrier is, and when the barrier is down, all you have to do is line up your wall so that it hits this corner, this corner, this corner, and this corner. Now, what this wall does is simply block every single line of sight from the right side of B, and whatever smoke you decide to choose, putting it in the corner of the left side of B or blocking vision from heaven, this will help you push through B by clearing some angles while not worrying about some others. Now, for a full B side push, here is a setup that I usually like to go to when pushing B side. Essentially, using the same wall and then putting a smoke right at the rafters in front of heaven window to block anyone playing from the top. This amount of setup allows you to minimize the amount of angles you are exposed to while pushing through tunnels, and remember, this is only from your kit. Imagine what you can do with your teammates pushing through B. So, if you like how useful VIPER could be to your team, remember to practice the throws, to practice your setups with your walls and your smokes, and you guys will probably have easy time pushing any site you want. Now the last two tricks that I will show you are defensive tactics on both A and B, starting with the elbow on A site. Now make sure that you line up your wall so that it hits all four of these corners that I marked on the map. Now the idea with this wall is to be as efficient as possible, meaning that when this wall is triggered, it blocks vision from the elbow right at the corner, also blocks vision from A long right at the turn, and as well when you push through from A ramp, also blocking vision from that. Essentially, this wall gives you the most advantage when holding an angle while people push from A site either from the ramp or from A long. Now the last thing we're going to look at is a defensive wall from B site all the way to mid ramps. And the setup happens at that blue cone as you saw me shoot, and now all you have to do is line up your wall to hit all 5 corners that I marked over here. This wall is going to block vision from that mid ramp, also some vision blocked from the entry to heaven on the way to the ramp, and of course blocking vision from that B tunnels if people choose to push it. Now the idea with this is to simply have a wall that can block vision from garage and mid ramp so that you can help your team who's defending mid and heaven stairs. That is going to do it for this VIPER guide on the map split. Now again, still 2 more maps involving heaven and bind. Those are coming really soon. And before I even forget, I just want to show you guys what a tentative quarantine schedule that I have, since there's really nothing to do right now, and that involves basically me releasing at least 3 videos a week and streaming 5 days a week. Now, this schedule can change depending on how quarantine works 2 weeks from now, a month from now. But for now, I have a lot of free time, and this is what I want to devote my time to while I'm at home, most of the time just playing video games. So, love to make this content for you guys. Please make sure to leave a like, comment of what you guys want to see next, and I'll think about what I can do with those ideas. Again, make sure to be clicking that sub button if you're that 90%, so that you are aware when I'm releasing the guides, when I'm releasing my Valorant videos. Also, if you want to see better players click heads better than me, well, search Lee Senga on YouTube and enjoy seeing him click heads. See ya!